Slightly, North Korea, a country that has long been shrouded in mystery and intrigue, often referred to as the Hermit Kingdom, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Even the name itself feels like a contradiction. A land where the word democratic is far from the reality experienced by its citizens. A place shrouded in secrecy, cloaked in Cold War mystique and ruled with an iron fist. The regime's grip is unyielding, and the outside world knows little of the true nature of life within its borders. For decades it has remained an enigma, a land seemingly frozen in time. The streets of Pyongyang, with their retro architecture and vintage propaganda posters, offer a glimpse into a bygone era. Yet behind this veil of isolation lies a society both fascinating and deeply unsettling. The daily lives of its citizens, the routines of children in school uniforms, and the bustling local markets paint a picture of normalcy that is at odds with the regime's oppressive nature. For the intrepid few, North Korea offers a highly unusual form of tourism. Visitors are given a rare opportunity to step into this closed-off world, but always under the watchful eyes of their guides. It's a carefully orchestrated dance, a peek behind the curtain, but only at what the authorities want you to see. The tours are meticulously planned, showcasing grand monuments and staged cultural performances that highlight the regime's achievements. Imagine a world where every interaction feels scripted, where history is presented as propaganda, and where the gaze of Big Brother seems ever present. Every conversation with a local is monitored, every photograph taken is scrutinized. This is the reality of tourism in North Korea, a country that can simultaneously intrigue and repel. The DMZ, a stark reminder of the ongoing conflict, and the Arirang mass games, a display of synchronized perfection, both serve to captivate and unsettle visitors. It's a land where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, where the mundane transforms into the bizarre. A visit to a local farm or an amusement park becomes an experience unlike any other, tinged with the surreal. This is a journey into the heart of the DPRK, a travelogue unlike any other. A place where every step is a step into the unknown, and every moment is a glimpse into a world that few have seen. In early 2025, a sliver of hope emerged for those curious about the Hermit Kingdom. For decades, North Korea had been one of the most isolated and secretive nations on Earth, its borders tightly sealed against the prying eyes of the outside world. The rare glimpses that did emerge were often shrouded in propaganda and mystery, leaving much to the imagination. North Korea, in a move that surprised many, tentatively reopened its borders to Western tourists. This unprecedented decision was met with a mix of skepticism and excitement. Could this be the beginning of a new era of openness for the reclusive state? Or was it merely a fleeting moment of transparency? The destination, the Residency Special Economic Zone, a small, isolated region bordering Russia and China. Residency had long been a focal point for North Korea's limited economic interactions with the outside world. It was a place where the rigid controls of the regime were slightly loosened, allowing for a controlled experiment in economic liberalization. Residency, with its promises of economic liberalization and a glimpse into North Korea's capitalist ambitions, seemed like the ideal testing ground. The cityscape, dotted with industrial buildings and signs of burgeoning development, stood in stark contrast to the rest of the country, which remained largely undeveloped and impoverished. A small group of tourists, a mix of the adventurous and the curious, were granted visas. These individuals, hailing from various parts of the world, were eager to see for themselves what lay behind the veil of secrecy that had long shrouded North Korea. They were pioneers of a sort, venturing into uncharted territory with a sense of wonder and apprehension. They arrived with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, eager to experience a place few outsiders had ever seen. The journey to Residency was not just a physical one but also a journey into the unknown, where every moment was filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Their itinerary was tightly controlled, a blend of factory visits, historical monuments, and carefully curated interactions with locals. Every step they took was monitored, every conversation observed, ensuring that the narrative presented to them was one of progress and development. The tourists toured a school uniform factory, a sea cucumber farm, and other sites that showcased North Korea's attempts at modernization. These visits were designed to impress, to show that the country was capable of producing goods and engaging in economic activities that were on par with the rest of the world. Even a casino, a surreal sight in a country often associated with scarcity. The casino, with its bright lights and bustling activity, seemed out of place in a nation where many struggled to meet their basic needs. It was a stark reminder of the contrasts and contradictions that define North Korea. But just as quickly as it began, the experiment ended. The brief window of openness was slammed shut, leaving the tourists and the world at large with more questions than answers. What had prompted this sudden change? Was it a sign of internal struggles within the regime, or simply a calculated move to control the narrative? Within weeks, the borders slammed shut once more, the reasons shrouded in the same opacity that characterizes so much of North Korean life. The tourists, who had hoped to gain a deeper understanding of the country, were left with only fleeting impressions and a sense of unfulfilled curiosity. The brief window into Residency closed, leaving more questions than answers. The world was left to wonder what might have been, had the experiment continued. For now, North Korea remains an enigma, its secrets locked away behind closed borders, its future as uncertain as ever. Let's be clear. Tourism in North Korea is not for the faint of heart, nor for those seeking a relaxing getaway. Independent travel is strictly forbidden. Forget backpacking adventures or spontaneous detours. Every step you take, every interaction you have is orchestrated and monitored. Upon arrival, you are met by not one but two North Korean guides. These guides are your constant companions, your gatekeepers to this enigmatic land. Their presence is ever present, their eyes constantly watching, their demeanor a curious blend of friendliness and unwavering control. They dictate your itinerary, translate conversations, and perhaps most importantly, ensure you adhere to the strict rules of conduct. Every aspect of your trip is pre-approved, from the sites you visit to the restaurants you dine in, bathroom breaks, not without permission. Section 4. Residency SS, a capitalist experiment in a socialist sea. Residency, the brief focal point of North Korea's 2025 tourism experiment, is a curious anomaly. Nestled in the northeastern corner of the country, Residency is a place where the rigid boundaries of North Korean socialism are momentarily blurred. This city, often shrouded in mystery, became a window into a different kind of North Korea, one that few outsiders ever get to see. Officially designated a special economic zone, it's an area where the ironclad rules of North Korean socialism are, at least in theory, relaxed. The SEZ status was intended to attract foreign investment and boost the local economy, creating a unique blend of capitalism within a staunchly socialist state. Here, amidst the austere landscape of the DPRK, lies a glimmer of something different. Modern buildings stand in stark contrast to the traditional austere architecture found elsewhere in the country, symbolizing a tentative step towards economic reform and openness. Residency boasts North Korea's first mobile phone network, a significant leap in connectivity for a nation where communication is tightly controlled. This network allowed locals to experience a level of technological advancement that was previously unimaginable. A legal marketplace where locals can buy and sell goods, fostering a sense of entrepreneurship and economic activity that is rare in the rest of the country. These markets became a hub of local life, bustling with vendors and buyers engaging in commerce, and even a rudimentary card payment system. This system, though basic, represented a significant shift towards modern financial transactions, allowing for greater ease and security in trade. For the Western tourists who briefly visited, Residency offered a tantalizing glimpse into what a more open North Korea might look like. These visitors were able to interact with locals, albeit in a controlled manner, and witness firsthand the small but significant changes taking place. Yet, even here, the grip of the state was never far away. The presence of military personnel and surveillance signs served as constant reminders of the government's watchful eye, ensuring that the experiment did not stray too far from the party line. Access to local markets was restricted, with certain areas off limits to both locals and tourists. This control over movement and interaction highlighted the limitations of the SEZ's freedoms. Interactions with North Koreans were carefully managed, often mediated by government-approved guides who ensured that conversations stayed within acceptable boundaries. And the specter of surveillance lingered. CCTV cameras were a ubiquitous presence, reminding everyone that their actions were being monitored. Despite these constraints, Residency remains a fascinating case study of what could be possible in a more open North Korea. Section 5. The show must go on. Staged reality in the DPRK. Tourism in North Korea is less about experiencing authentic culture and more about witnessing a carefully constructed performance. It's a Potemkin village of smiles, synchronized dance routines, and pronouncements of national pride. School children dressed in their finest uniforms perform songs praising the Kim dynasty with unnerving enthusiasm. Monuments to the country's leaders are ubiquitous, and bowing before them is not a suggestion, but an expectation. Guides, well-versed in the art of propaganda, effortlessly reel off statistics about North Korea's economic achievements and military prowess. The outside world, they'll tell you, is a dangerous and decadent place, while North Korea stands as a beacon of purity and strength. Section 6. Checking in, but never really checking out. Hotels in North Korea are an experience in themselves. Often relics of the Soviet era, they exude a strange charm, a blend of faded grandeur and a lingering sense of being watched. The Yanggakdo International Hotel in Pyongyang, a 47-story pyramid-shaped structure, is a case in point. While the amenities might be described as functional at best, it's the intangible aspects of these hotels that leave a lasting impression. The frequent power outages, the outdated decor, the hushed whispers of staff. It all contributes to a pervasive sense of unease. You're always aware that you are a guest in someone else's house, a house with its own rules and secrets. It's a feeling amplified by the knowledge that your every move is likely being monitored.